Welcome to ADemonicShadow review and trophy review of course, you already didn't see the picture. Sony Computer Entertainment presents. You already know, made by Naughty Dog. The Last of Us Remastered, including Left Behind and DLC. And, well, gameplay, amazing. Story, amazing. Graphics, amazing. Online, pretty good. Moving on. I'm just kidding. So let me go ahead and just load up a game real quick, if you don't mind. I'm gonna do the best I can to have as least spoilers, at least story spoilers of this game as possible. Now, as you probably already know, this game did get a lot of praise, did get a lot of good reviews. So I necessarily am just stating what's already been stated before, just my personal outtake for it. As I already said, I will try to not tell as many spoilers as I could tell, because I can just flat out just spoil the game out for you. But I'm going to try to keep it at least as spoiler free as I can, but there probably will be some spoilers going on with the review of the game and trophies of the game. So this is The Last of Us. Ooh, I got her a nice outfit. This is one, as I already said, The Last of Us. The story of the game is about these little plant fungus that did grew based off of real life fungus that does grow and take over the brain and necessarily take over the host, necessarily making these infected type creatures, not zombies, which then attack anything that's not infected. Once again, not zombies. The story starts off where you play as Joel. You take responsibility of Ellie. Wave Ellie. Okay, she's not gonna wave. And you're necessarily taking her to the Fireflies because she wants. This is the part where I have to reveal spoilers, so I apologize. She is immune to the virus, or the fungus. So they're necessarily doing that whole she's a cure. We're gonna go ahead and find out why she's a cure, make an antidote, make an immune, you know, things like that. And that's been passed on to Joel and Tess as they go ahead and protect her and guide her to the Fireflies.
Over here.
Fireflies, necessarily just a group of not necessarily a group of bandits, just the anti-police, so to speak. They have different necessary goals, but they necessarily do the same thing as police, and they want to protect and serve the people. It's weird because they're not necessarily bad people. They're pretty much, they both cops and mercenaries that both want the same thing, but just go at it a different way. Now, as you travel across the U.S., you do come across you do come across other survivors. Rather they stay, rather they live, rather they die. That is totally up for you to find out as you play this game. And it's pretty intense. This game, even in even first 10 minutes, already brought tears to tons of people, not just myself, but tons of people. And right even there, you can just tell you're just a story. This was gonna be a story-driven game, and I really do appreciate Naughty Dog for delivering on that story. If I want to say, it's probably one of my favorite stories told, because unlike other games, Joel does develop over time. When you start, she's kind of probably one-track mind, kind of an asshole, only cares about S. That's about it. His objective of what he's, because he is a smuggler. He and Tess, you smuggle things from inside the city, smuggle things outside the city for various people, for various things. Firefighter leader has given him the task of Ellie. Now, as you progress through the city, once again, Joel does actually develop. And it's pretty interesting the interaction he has with him, Elliot, and the people around him. Very unique, and do have lots of surprises to them. They're not very simple, just, hey, here's a person, and that's it, and they disappear, and they go for and they're gone forever. Naughty Dog did build a bond. These characters are characters. They have their own, objectives, personalities, and everything, and that does make you more attached to them, which helps, bring out the character out of them, because they're not just copy and paste, standard, he's the stupid guy, so he's going to say stupid stuff, he's the smart guy, so he's already going to have something smart to say. And that's one of the things I do appreciate with this game, with its story and characters, taking that extra step to fully develop their characters. The gameplay you're gonna see just a little bit. As you can see, it's not. As you can see, it's a third-person game, third-person shooter stealth game. This game does have stealth mechanics in it. As you can see here, she's gonna throw the bottle, which you can use to lure the infected away from you. This one being a clicker. You, once again, can pretty much all encounters with infected. You can pretty much just run by, not killing anything, which is pretty cool. That does bring out the stealth mechanics of the game. Another thing I do appreciate that not a lot of games do is when you break stealth, you can re-enter stealth. So, as you can see, the clicker here being defended. But as you can see here, you can re-enter stealth. I'm kind of doing badly here because I'm trying to gather my wits, and I do apologize. But a lot of games, when you actually are found out, when the enemies do see, when they do see you, that's pretty much the end of stealth for a lot of games. Here, in The Last of Us, you can re-enter stealth. You can lure them out with bottles. You can lure them away with bricks, with the infected, as they are attracted to noise. Because these clickers here are blind, so... And that's what I appreciate.
I think that's it. Ellie, you okay? Other than shitting my pants?
Yeah, now The Last of Us is a story-driven game, but it does not lack in gameplay of it. The gameplay of the game is pretty unique in its own certain way. As they're not even a platforming game,
Come on.
but so it does have platforming elements, so to speak. Does have its own, fair gunfights, which I do appreciate. Some against humans, which will use bullets, and they will hurt, especially on the hardest difficulty.
This is crazy. Just don't look down. Are you serious?
Now, if you haven't already noticed, graphics for the game are pretty fucking good. Kinda look at Joel here. As you can see, they did take the time to put the details in everything. As you can see, it's Joel himself, the environment.
Come on, Ellie.
They spent quite a few probably months, if not years, making sure that this did bring out the power of the PS4, even for the PS3, because this is mastered for the PS4. And I really do appreciate that. Not much to say, honestly, without spoiling anything about the story and the single player. The online for the game, it's pretty much standard. It's just the same, gameplay, of course, as the game. just multiplayer. It's depending on what game mode you have. You have standard, just free for all, not necessarily free for all. Sorry, 4-on-4. Nothing too special. Kill people. And when you run out of, when you die, you respawn. Your team has a slut of 20 health, 20 lives. Sorry. Alright, Janice. Yeah. They do have a select of 20 lives. So when you die, it goes to 19, and of course, when you run out, then your team loses and thicker is. They also have interrogation, more strategic, where you're trying to interrogate the others to find information to attack their base. Trying to think of the last game mode. And then of course they just have standard, just you get 1 life. When you die, it's over, and they have it in rounds. Then of course the winner with the most round, winner of a certain amount of rounds do win. And surprisingly, even though no one was really expecting The Last of Us to have online, it was pretty balanced. At least I feel it for myself.
Come on down.
There was probably like 1 or 2 guns that, of course, were probably better than the rest. But overall, the game itself was pretty balanced with the stealth mechanics, the sneaking around, as you do have a listen mode to hear other sounds that help you locate other players.
Let's just get out of here.
Outside, just seeing them. They did have a certain amount of guns, which they all did the same thing. They had 2 different type of pistols. Added DLC with adding a 3rd one. And one thing I do like is there wasn't a lot of weapons. This isn't Call of Duty where there's like 500, but there was enough weapons that had different variety, and even weapons of the same type still did different things. Because there was a bow and there's a sniper rifle, and they necessarily do the same thing, but can be handled different. As you can put a silencer on a sniper, you can't necessarily do that with a bow, so the bow itself was always silent. So that was a plus to the bow, but the bow, you of course had to charge it. While, the sniper, you just shot and fired.
See? Doing all right?
And of course, with both of them, you can snipe people, so...
Whoa.
I actually do appreciate it. It was pretty fun. The only reason why I kind of don't play it right now myself is kind of sick and tired of The Last of Us. Mainly just because of how much hours I put into the game. Otherwise, I would probably, stream it on occasion.
You can take it easy for a little while.
But another thing I did forget, The Last of Us did have a...
What's going on about laying low?
They did have a crafting mechanic where you find random things, which does help you to explore the area to find, these bindings, rab alcohol, explosive sugar, and of course a melee weapon. The things you can craft, as you can see here, is I have 2 right now because this is at the beginning of the game, with a health kick and a shiv. What they did to make this more unique, more strategic, is that as you can see here, the game does not pause when you go into crafting, so you can't use crafting as a safe haven to craft what you need to craft and everything like that. You kind of have to do that on the fly. Another thing they did do is with the crafting, if you use a blade, because there is a bomb you can create, and the bomb uses blades. To make it, so if you use the blades to make a shiv, then that's 1 less blade you'll have to make explosive. So that does add a little bit of pressure and makes you really want to think what you're making when you make it, as that could be something you may need at another time. They also do have these pills you can get to upgrade Joel, and of course the collectibles, because that's pretty much standard in every game. Now moving on to Left Behind. Left Behind does come free with The Last of Us Remastered for the PS4. and it's more of a story-driven, like even more story-driven than the Last of Us the game itself. There's not as many action in Left Behind as there is in the game itself, but there still is going to be some parts where you have to deal with some infected.
Look at his sleeve. Firefly.
Yep. These guys aren't doing well in or out of the city.
I was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed. I was looking for some more action from the DLC of Left Behind, but the story that it did reveal, as it was more towards a story about Ellie at a certain part of the game and what was going through on what she was dealing with, what she was handling, and what was going on. While at the same time, it reveals more information on how she became immune, or not necessarily immune, but what happened when the day she got bitten. As she was not the only one there when she was bitten, she was with her friend, and that's pretty much the story of that night, mixed in with what happened when Ellie, what's going on through Ellie's mind at a certain part of the game. Yeah. Now, these are, once again, the infected. Pretty easy to handle. You know what you're doing. As you can see, I don't know what I'm doing. But now that pretty much was it with the story of the game, or at least a review of the game itself. So, excuse me. But you know, overall, it's definitely one of those games that I would highly recommend playing if you have not already. I would highly, suggest trying it at least. It's not a game for everyone, but this game is this game is just so good. Just freaking good game. You know why people say it's a good game? Because it's a fucking good game. But just do it. Do it. So that pretty much was a review of the game. Once again, Left Behind. We're just going to be going ahead and moving on to the trophy review of the game. So, honestly, if you don't care about trophies, you can go ahead and just end the video. That's pretty much it, as the rest is just going to be about the trophies, Secret Trophy, and the DLC for the game, and Left Behind. Now, The Last of Us has 50 trophies, 50, or at least in the standard, 50 trophies, 1 secret, and in the DLC, Left Behind with 10. The DLC of Reclaimed Territories, Abandoned Territories, and Grounded Mode have their own set of trophies for each one, which, once again, is free if you get it. If you get it on, if you get it on PS4 for The Last of Us Remastered. Oh, sorry, I'm just bringing up my. Apologize. I'm also sick. That's always fun. It can't be for nothing. Platinum trophy, which is what you're going for. You also have look for the light. Find all the Firefly pendants. You have collect all the for the endure and survive. Collect all the comics. You have it was all just lying here. Find all the artifacts. I got this. Find all the training manuals. Scavenger. Sorry. Find all the collectibles, and that's pretty much the collectibles. Those are all different type of things. Pendant Firefly pendants don't really endure and give you anything. Comics, just collectibles. Artifacts are just give you more of the story of what's going on and where they're found. Training manuals prove your Molotovs, your shivs and everything like that. And the collectibles you have, let's gear up, craft every item. You have Master of Unlocking, which is unlock all the shiv doors, which you will need fully upgraded shivs to do. And I actually recommend just using shivs to make shiv doors, especially if you're playing on an easier difficulty. You have find and upgrade Joel with settlements. Those are plants that you find around. That's for everything we've been through. That's You know, you can also get this on New Game Plus that is available for the game. So you can go ahead and continue on, because I do believe it is impossible to do so
Hey, maybe we
on
can
one
find something in that
playthrough.
boat over there.
You have fully upgrade all weapons for emergencies only trophy. Once again, New Game Plus. I want to talk about it. Engage in all optional conversations. As you go out through the game, there will be times where you can speak with Ellie, interact with the environment around you, and you know, giving you more of the backstory of these two characters, giving you more on the backstory of what's going around. That will actually get you a trophy once you do them all. Then you have complete the game on easy, no matter what, easy, normal, hard, and survivor. That's pretty much being in the game on easy, normal, hard, and survivor. Of course, survivor being the hardest one, as you do not have your listen mode, and they all makes things a little bit challenging. You have The Last of Us, easy plus, normal plus, hard plus, and survivor plus. That's pretty much beating the game New Game Plus for those selected difficulties. One thing that you can do is you can beat the game on survivor, get all easy, normal, and hard survivor trophies, then beat the game on survivor plus and get all those trophies. Not what I recommend. I would recommend playing on either normal, on hard, and then playing the game, and then starting the game again, then playing on survivor, and then survivor plus once you gassed everything. But it's up to you. We have, and then this game does have some multiplayer trophies. Not too bad. You don't have to do all these random specific tasks or anything like that, but they are there You have knowing the basics, which is win a game of supply rate and survivor, and find a match. So you can't necessarily set up a game. Pretty much easy. The 2 game modes that came with the game. You have build your clan to 40 people in a fraction. As long as you're doing good, as long as you're going positive, not necessarily the best on the team, you will have people join your fraction, and that's pretty easy to get. You have complete the Firefly journey for the Firefly, and you have Hunter, which is complete the Hunter's journey, which is just naturally surviving 12 weeks, as each game advances in 1 day. So as long as once again you're doing positive, you don't have to have 100 people with you at all times. You can actually just go with 5, and as long as you don't lose them all, you'll complete the journey. And then once you get to the end, you'll naturally just start over either as Firefly and Journey, and just you have to do it respectively for both. It doesn't necessarily take that long, as once again 1 day is a game mode. One game is a day, and not really all that difficult. Hopefully just cover your basics, do well, use listen mode, try to work together, and you'll get it.
That is a big rat.
You also have That's All I Got, which is a secret trophy, which is survive all Ellie's joke, doing pretty much at certain points of the game just waiting, and they're all pretty grouped together, so they're not all spread out throughout the game, unfortunately, but pretty much just wait around, and Ellie will eventually get bored and start telling jokes. If anything, they're probably one of my favorite things in the game.
Voila.
And some of them became my favorite jokes. Never heard of them before, and the way Ellie tells them is adorable. But that pretty much are all the trophies for the game, or at least the base game.
We're just gonna have to see how everything pans out.
Moving on to the DLC of Left Behind. Once again, Left Behind is a standalone game. Highly recommend it. I don't actually think, but highly recommend it that you play after beating the game. You have Don't Go, Easy, Normal, Hard, and Survivor, which is once again just beating the game on Easy, Normal, Hard, and Survivor. Honestly, you can just probably take it on Survivor on your first go. You have especially after you beat the game. You have BFFs, all optional conversations found in Left Behind. Once again, it's same as the base game, just final conversations. You have Pick It Clean, just all the Left Behind collectibles were found. Again, pretty easy. And then you have these
Can we get out this way?
select area specific trophies. Nobody's Perfect Play, Jack X Combat Racing Game, Angel Knives, defeat Black Ball without getting hit, Skills, win the water fight, and Brickmaster, win the brick throwing contest. You could pretty much just hit restart encounter, and that will restart before the event, and you can go ahead and just try again in case you didn't do so.
Henry, give it a shot.
You're pretty simple. The only one I would say would be the hardest one is defeat Black Fang, because you do have to push certain buttons, and if you mess up once, that will cause you to get hit, and Nessie will have to start over. But once again, these weren't all that hard.
I'm gonna have a look. You keep an eye out.
So those are your 10 trophies for Left Behind. Next is DLC for Reclaiming Territories, 7 trophies. You have Werfel Capital, you have Werfel, which is complete a match on Werfel. I'm probably saying that wrong. I do apologize for that, which is WHARF. Win at least, complete a match. Sorry, you don't need the win. Complete a match with 5 downs or executions. Honestly, not that bad. There's also Capital, Coal Mine, and Water Tower, which is doing the same thing. Up I died. You have Recover Supply Raider, which is complete a game of supply raid on Wiffle, Capital, Water Tower, and Coal Mine. Once again, you just gotta finish the game. You don't necessarily have to win. I'm not entirely sure if joining a game gets you these trophies too. You also have Recover Interrogation. Interrogation was a game mode they added in. Just complete a game of interrogation on each of the maps, which once again is Werfel, Capital, Water Tower, and Coal Mine. Pretty easy. Could be worse. Could be way worse. Moving on to DLC Abandoned Territories. Complete a match on Bookstore, complete a match on Bus Depot, and complete a match at Hometown and Suburbs, getting you Bookstore, Bus Depot, Hometown, and Suburbs for getting 5 downs or executions on those selected maps. Once again, really easy. You also have Forsaken Supply Raid. Complete a game of Supply Raid on those, once again, maps. Sorry, focus for that. Forsaken Supply Raid and Forsaken Survivalist, which is, you know, playing Supply Raid and Survivors on Bookstore, Hometown, Suburbs, and Bus Depot. Then, of course, you have Interrogations playing on the same maps. You know, it's necessarily just play each map with 5 downs, 5 executions, and play each mode on each.
Yeah. Still in one piece.
Those are the 7 trophies. Next, you have DLC, which is Grounded mode. This is playing the game on Grounded. Completing for complete Grounded mode and complete Grounded mode plus for, once again, doing as it said, completing Grounded mode and completing Grounded mode plus. This game,
oh, there you go. That's smart.
This makes the game way much harder than Survivor. I want to say it's probably twice, if not 3 times, as harder as Survivor. Especially towards the end of the game where bullets necessarily do hurt. This necessarily does test you to the limit of knowing the game, as you will be restarting a lot. I am not gonna lie, this is going to be quite difficult. But that necessarily is the trophies for the game. If you really need it, if you really need to, I did make a video, or at least a playthrough of me speedrunning Grounded mode on my birthday. It took about 13 hours. Pretty fast when you actually think about it, how long this story-driven game is. But I'll probably go ahead and link the playlist in the description, so you can go ahead and check that out in case you're trying to do this. But that was The Last of Us. The Last of Us trophy review and trophy review. I do want to thank you for sticking around. It once again do want to apologize for the blanks and everything like that. I'm gathering up my notes. I'm also sick and probably tired. I probably shouldn't have done this, but this 30-minute review of the game is now over. Why don't you guys say bye?
Don't look like that's the case anymore.
Bye to oh, look, he's waving. Yeah, he's waving. Well, this is ADemonicShadow out. I do want to thank you for supporting me. I do want to thank you for watching, if you did watch. And I want to thank you for supporting me with my Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and all those good links will be in the description below. Guys, and we flame on.